Hey, been away for a while. Just got done hitting the gym, feeling good. I think I'm going to get some work done at the house today. I've been putting some stuff off. It's also raining, so I'm probably not going to be able to do much today. That's going to be easy or convenient. I hate working in the rain. It's awful. As I was leaving the gym, though, I talked to two guys. They're both in their late 60s. I think one is in his late 70s. Just talking, and on the way out, it just struck me how the elderly and or senior citizens, whatever term you want to use or whatever the case may be, they are a treasure trove of knowledge and information and experiences that always come through stories. So although there's a type of learning that we as humans have to participate in that is very analytical, very math-based, very specific, vaccines, engineering, computer programming, the technology that really we take for granted, like bridges and electricity, whatever, all of the technology, all of the infrastructure that allows us to experience those goods and services, the knowledge of how to facilitate that service and manufacture that good is very mathematical, it's very clinical, it's very A plus B equals C. And it's important that we have those people. I think I've said this before, STEM, there's multiple kinds of intelligence, but the level of the intelligence of STEM, all other intelligence, all other types of thinking should bow to STEM. I'm not a STEM guy myself. I don't have the brain for it, but again, there's emotional intelligence, there's artistic, there's musical, there's all these different wisdoms or types of thinking. But really, the type of intelligence that has moved humans into the greatest state that humans have ever lived in. Someone said, that homeless people on the street, literally have better dental care. They have better access to dental care than Rockefeller ever did. So think about that. At one time, Rockefeller was the richest man on the planet, and broke dicks today get their teeth cleaned better than he did. So that's shocking to think about that. But the reason why we have all the advancements we have is through STEM and technology and moving forward in that regard. But although that's a small cast of people that can tend to facilitate that role and work in that manner, the vast majority of humans, we learn through stories. We learn through archetypical discussions. And getting back to my starting of the video, the elderly, senior citizens, they are a treasure trove of experiences and stories. They are literally a hidden vault of wisdom that we can tap into at any time that can illuminate. It's a light from behind us, but it can illuminate our future, how to deal with money, how to deal with a woman, how to deal with a man, how to deal with work, how to think differently than what we're currently thinking. And it's interesting to me that in some ways, America's going through somewhat, some people have said this, and I think it's true to a certain extent, but in some ways, people have said that America's going through our cultural revolution, which was rebranded by the CCP as the Great Leap Forward, but really, I think 60 million people died during Mao's reign, and just an awful situation. But it's interesting that we have a similar situation happening where that video some time ago of that very childish woman doing the song "Okay Boomer," whatever you say, Boomer, and there's this disregard of our elders. There's this disregard of individuals who have spent more time on this planet than someone my age or than someone younger, and disregard of the value that they have, and really a disregard of the treasure that they are. And the reason why they're a treasure is because stories come from experiences that we have, and experiences oftentimes are increased and or take place because of the time spent. Now, there can be young people that have a lot of experiences, both good and bad, that's true, but typically, the more time we spend on this planet, the more experiences we have, therefore the more stories we have, and the more that we can illuminate the path of people coming behind us so that they can either avoid some of the pitfalls or maybe even, hit some of the pitfalls, so that they can learn. Pain and hunger are great teachers. But it's interesting to me at this time where we have this notion in America, in a lot of younger people, where there's this disregard. It's almost like a quasi, the four bads. The olds were one of them, and I think I'm saying that right. But older people with experience, are such a wealth of information and experience and wisdom. You should never, ever, ever disregard the wisdom of an older person because of their political ideology, their wealth, where they've been. They know and understand information that you cannot know, because most of the time, for us to know and or understand, again, I'm more interested in understanding than I am knowing. For us to understand situations, oftentimes we just have to experience them. There's no way that we can know or understand. We have to ourselves walk in that same path for us to really grasp the situation, for us to really grasp what's going on. So it's interesting to me that at this time in America, socioeconomically and politically, we have this revulsion to, if that's the right way to say it, to elderly people. We view them as the problem. And don't get me wrong, the baby boomers have committed vast sins. I think no generation, if the greatest generation built our nation and into the shining wealthy city on the hill that it was, the baby boomer generations are the ones that are eroding that for sure. That's without a doubt. But it doesn't mean that the individual boomer doesn't have value and stories and wisdom that we can impart into us. And I took the long way around because I wanted to talk about that, and how it's strange to me that younger people are saying no to the wisdom and the experience of their elders. The elders are very, very valuable, extremely valuable. Although I believe that we as the West should shed all of the tribal philosophy and ideology that tribal culture still have, because it's Cro-Magnon, it's outdated, it's a joke, it's terrible. There's at least one thing in one philosophy and tribal ideology that I think is extremely valuable, which in fact is the revering of the elder, and the understanding that the elder has experienced life in a way that we cannot yet or haven't yet, and that their experience has value for us today. So the reason why I said all that is because an elder can illuminate our path in a way that maybe someone in our own age demographic cannot. But in the same manner that an elder can, and they're wonderful people, we need to talk to them more, a mentor can also do the same thing. A mentor can put light on your path where someone in your own shoes cannot. And now a mentor doesn't have to be someone that's older. It's many times easier for someone to have a mentor who's older than them, because the mentor has, again, been in the same industry. They have more experience. They have more stories. They also have the technical understanding of the business, but they have the emotional sort of wisdom that really we all need in any aspect of life, marriage, business, whatever. They have that wisdom. But go seek out a mentor. One of my mentors is younger than me. Really started off life bad, white trash, was a drug dealer, really probably should be dead, probably, the fact that he wasn't found in a gutter face down, ass up is a miracle, because he was a shit show. Turned his life around, started a business, became super successful, traveled the world, he's a good dad, he's done it right. He's a mentor of mine, and I don't talk to him as much as I should, but I like to pick his brain from time to time. And more importantly, he's really just an inspiration, because if he can do it, I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Anyone can do it. But I have other mentors as well that are in my same age group, but are older than me professionally. And so, like, my business is about 3 years old now. So I'll talk to individuals who have been in their business for 7 and 10 years, and they are a wealth. They are a treasure trove of information, of knowledge, of wisdom that we can tap into. And this really, it's an anti-freedom, it's an anti-justice philosophy and ideology that refuses to acknowledge the wisdom of your elder. And your elder doesn't have to necessarily be older than you. It can be someone who's been in the situation longer than you. The wisdom of your mentor. It's terrible that younger people truly think they got a beat on this life. in my short 37 years, I've had a lot of experiences, and I'm doing better than ever. But I know nothing compared to someone who's been in my shoes for twice as long. Or rather, I understand nothing in comparison to someone who's been in my shoes for twice as long. So I wanted to get this video out today. It kind of took the long way around. Go get a mentor, even if it's just someone that inspires you. That, man, they did it, I can do it. Again, we have to, I've talked about it before, using the example of Bill Cosby and how after the Cosby show aired and started, the percentage of black kids signing up for medical school and law school went through the roof because they finally saw someone on TV that looked like them, that was doing something that they had never thought of, and then they thought, well, he did it, I can do it. So we still have to see ourselves in other people many times to believe that we can do it ourselves. So go get a mentor, go get someone who can empower you. Or at the very least, just go get someone that you can enjoy just listening to their stories, because their stories will sink in your head. Humans have learned through stories for thousands of years. Jesus taught through parables. A parable is a type of a story. Go get a mentor. Go get an elder. Listen to their stories. Absorb their wisdom. It will change your life. I promise you. If you've liked the content, like, share, subscribe. If you've hated it, to send it to someone you hate.